I really needed that because that was extremely stressful. And I will be sure when we actually do the LP portion, I will not be freaking out as much as I did because, oh my god, that was the first time I experienced that scene, so I was not sure what to... I wasn't sure what I was gonna be dealing with. Anyway, it's the same day, unspecified time, the detention center, holding cell 11. Holding cell 11. Oh, looks like this is it.
Ah, I wonder if it's that man all curled up in the corner. If it's that man.
His name is Dr. Benjamin Dirtpour, right?
Excuse me, Dr. Dirtpour.
Who might you be? I'm a defense attorney. Naruhodo...
A defense attorney?
What? What's his deal?
You're a defense attorney. You mean... For that? Are you going to defend my theories?
Oh my goodness, what is this man? Your theories?
Yesterday's experiments!
I'm not even pressing anything, he's just shouting and interrupting me!
That experiment was precisely that experiment alone. No matter what anyone says, it was a success. Yes, it was a success. Yet, none of the defense attorneys I spoke with would believe me. Once they heard what I had to say, they all ran for it.
Hello, Benjamin. I guess I should probably keep it to myself that I was so overwhelmed that I didn't catch most of what he just said. Okay, this guy is gonna be a handful. Understood. Yesterday's experiment. About the experiments you just mentioned.
They're calling it a huge flop. I mean, there was that big explosion and someone died. Oh, well, I guess that's also one way of looking at it. No, actually, to be precise. The experiment failed and succeeded at the same time.
What do you mean?
Mr. Kingsley was instantly broken down into particles before my very eyes. I'm sure of it. Up until that point, everything was going according to plan. And then Mr. Kingsley was supposed to be teleported to the Crystal Tower. But the device caused a huge explosion and Mr. Kingsley was killed. Though, yeah, I can't deny that that part was a failure.
Which means that the explosion was an accident, right?
But the people in charge were all saying you're suspected of murder. The fact that Mr. Kingsley lost his life is an immovable fact. That's why I want to atone for that crime, right here, right now. But... murder? That's just inconceivable. It was an accident.
I see.
Holmesy told me once that whether something is an accident or murder changes the situation entirely.
What do you mean?
If that really was an accident, then that device is protected by the system.
Protected?
Yes, apparently this country has a new system known as the Special Provision for the Protection of Science and Technology.
Oh my goodness, that's a mouthful too. There's a lot of big words in this one. Never heard of it.
But if we're actually a murder, then my device could be thoroughly investigated as a murder weapon. And if an investigation of its makeup were to happen, my theory would of course be stolen. I have to have it protected at all cost. So I like it made known at tomorrow's trial that it was an accident.
So, that's what you meant. Hyper-electric instantaneous teleportation desk. So there was a huge accident on the World's Fair grounds yesterday, right?
That's right. No, wait. The nuance of what you said was a bit off. It was a big, huge explosion, to be more precise.
Potato.
It was hyper-electric instantaneous teleportation technology, right? That sounds incredible. The human body is composed of molecules which are linked electrically. If that's the case, then it should be possible to break it down with enough electrical power and transmit it somewhere else. That's my entire theory.
I guess all I can say is that it's technology that defies imagination.
It's a truly remarkable piece of technology. Just try to imagine. For example, I could be out of the cell and back on the World's Fair grounds in an instant.
That would be pretty amazing.
Then I could close my eyes once more and in the next instant be on a huge stage in Paris. Yes, you can experience this Earth's boundless vastness to your heart's content.
Guess that means I wouldn't have to spend 50 days stuffed in a closet to get here from Japan. Oh boy.
The Earth's vastness, huh?
What's up, Iris-chan?
The ability to go anywhere you want the next instant. But doesn't that kind of seem like... might actually make the world feel small? Oh, you know, now that you mention it, you could be right. Oh dear, what could this mean? Looks like he seriously started worrying about it.
Yada yada.
Anyway, my theory is flawless, but scientific technology means nothing if it's not implemented. And in order for that to happen, you need a mountain of cash, don't you? All young scientists struggle with that. You're very well informed. Holmesy says it all the time. He says the government should offer more assistance. Anyway, that's when I met him. The first class investor, Mr. Conrad Kingsley.
He was the victim in yesterday's accident. His animations are adorable, though. This man is adorable. The Grim Reaper's University days. Oh boy. So, Prosecutor Baroque Van Zeeks was a friend of yours when you were at a university student, right?
Yes, he was studying law, and I was studying science.
What was Prosecutor Van Zeeks like in a university?
Oh, let's see. I guess you could say he was a quiet, good-natured chap.
Oh, sorry. Let me ask you again. Now remember, we're talking about Prosecutor Van Zeeks here, who's known for being a cold-hearted bully of a newbie defense attorney. A cold-hearted bully of newbie defense attorneys? Oh my god. Now, what was he like again?
I'm pretty sure that's what they call a seriously leading question. But yeah, like I said, he was a quiet, good-natured chap. He was the youngest son from the illustrious and aristocratic Van Zeeks bloodline. Aristocratic?
Younger son? Oh, so maybe that picture was actually his brother.
When I found out about him upon my return to England, I was surprised. Apparently, they've taken to calling him the Grim Reaper of Old Bailey.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, but here's what I heard. After he graduated from the university, there was a huge case that completely changed his life.
What kind of case was it?
No, sorry. I'm afraid I don't know the details. At that time, I'd already immigrated to Germany.
Oh, I see. But if Dr. Dirtpour knows about the Grim Reaper, I'm not brave enough to tell him he's the prosecutor in his trial tomorrow. He probably already knows, maybe, the victim. So I heard that Mr. Conrad Kingsley died in that accident. What was your relationship with him?
It was 1 year ago that he came to visit my lab in Germany. He said he wanted to invest in my perfect theory. Thank you, God.
So then you two were close before then, right?
Someone willing to invest in your research, huh? I'm a bit jealous. At the very least, he was a wonderful man as far as I'm concerned.
Is that so?
course! He had an experimental device built based on my theory and entered it in the World's Fair. If I gain the acceptance of the British government, they'll financially support my research. Mr. Kingsley prepared a large amount of money and an outstanding engineer for me. He had a perfect device made for me based on the plans I'd drawn, but... That dream was blown away in that big explosion, huh? I owe Mr. Kingsley that so much. There's no way I'd ever have killed him.
Judging by the look in his eyes, he doesn't seem to be lying. Allow me to confirm this one more time, Dr. Dirtpour. The explosion yesterday was an accident, right? You had no intention of killing the victim, who was your investor, right?
Of course not. I swear it. But the fact that he died because of my device is true. Which means that I'm by no means innocent. But there's no way I'd ever use scientific technology for something evil like killing someone. As a scientist, I wouldn't do it in a million years, even if you blasted me into dust. And you believe in me? And my theory? Science is about the pursuit of truth. That's what I've always believed.
What is this? What is this? Oh. This is a new track. I don't know anything about science or about theories, but I'll believe in you and fight for you as hard as I can. As a defense attorney, to the bitter end, even if I get blasted into dust.
I realized something after graduating from the university and immigrating to Germany. If a person does serious work and fights with all their strength for something, then their origins and nationality don't matter.
Dr. Dirtpour,
I'll be counting on you in tomorrow's trial.
that track was pretty.
All right, now we can finally go to the World's Fair. Come on, Naruhodo-kun.
Eh?
The accident happened on the World's Fairgrounds, after all.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's finally time to start investigating. Let's go to the World's Fair. Oop, no. Same day, unspecified time, the World's Fair Experiment Exhibition Grounds, the Crystal Tower area. I think the World Fair's ground might be a little too big for me. I've been walking around in this huge crowd for about 2 hours, but I feel like I passed out like 3 times.
No kidding, this crowd is huge. I was nearly trampled about 3 times.
Guess we better be careful to keep a good grip on each other's hands. Oh, they were holding hands. Bless. It looks like we finally made it. The scene of the crime, the scene of yesterday's big accident. We're right under the public experiment stage. What was that? I thought I heard an argument from up on the stage.
Gina! Today's the day you finally pushed me too far. I'm hauling you in. That's right, you're under arrest. Huh, just try it. You've got no proof.
These voices sound awfully familiar.
You smart mouth rat. Just watch me. I'll lock you up in a shell all by yourself. Not if I get you first. I'll ram that fried rubbish right down your throat. Hey, Greggy-san! What you doing up there?
Oh yeah, he still does.
Oh! Oh! My! It's the little lady! How are you this fine day?
He nearly made a haiku there.
Not good, obviously. Look at this crowd, it's packed. I wanted to ride a hot air balloon, but we've already been waiting 3 hours. Unacceptable! You only need to say the word. I'll use the power granted by my position to see that you get to ride as long as you like.
This man is Tobias Gregson. He's a detective with Scotland Yard. He was made to go on leave of absence recently due to a certain turn of events. Now he's back to work. He also gained a little fame due to his appearance in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Because of that, he's pretty much at Iris Chan's beck and call since she's the author. That's all very well, but he's going a little overboard this time if you ask me.
Mind your own bloody business.
Sorry.
What? Don't tell me you're handling the defense for this case.
Yes, I've taken the case.
So yes, we're here to investigate.
Oh dear, so that's it. What's he looking so uneasy for all of a sudden?
5 shillings? Is that really the best you can do?
Did you just take money from Naruhodo? You're a lawyer. Carry more cash on you for crying out loud.
Gina!
Hey, give that back. That's the last of my scholarship funds for the month. I'll give it back later, minus a 3 shilling handling fee. Gina! Gina! Oh, she looks fantastic, by the way. This girl is Gina Lestrade. She's a pickpocket who lives in the East End. 6 months ago, during a certain case that ended in me being prohibited to defend in court, Gina-san, his pickpocket, was the one that I was defending.
What do you think you're playing at, Naruhodo? Calling me a pickpocket over and over again. You want me to stuff some of that fried rubbish down your throat too?
Huh? But Gina-san, you are a pickpocket. Even just now, you and Detective Gregson were bickering with each other. I figured you've been practicing your trade here at the World's Fair grounds.
Honestly, is that the only way to talk to a lady? Perhaps people change in 6 months, you know. I'll have you know I'm a Scotland Yard detective in training now.
Bless!
So yeah, it's Inspector Lestrade to you.
Oh my god, this is so precious! Inspector Lestrade? That handmade ID badge is hurting my eyes. The inspector part is something she made up. No one calls her that but herself. But anyway, it's going to be a bit difficult for me to help you with your investigation.
Aw, come on.
Now then, I'll be heading upstairs. Keep a close watch from down here.
I will.
Wow. I guess there are a few things I'll have to talk to her about. Investigator in training. Bless. Bless. Gina. When I met Gina-san in connection with a certain case 8 months ago, she was living with other orphan children in the East End. In order to help support everyone, she was picking pockets and ended up getting dragged into a murder case. I had a lot of time to think while I was behind bars. I thought to myself, I can't go on picking pockets.
You're amazing, Jeannie.
So you gave up pickpocketing and took to being a detective instead. Yeah, you still pickpocket from Naruhodo.
That's right. Inspector Lestrade was has a pretty cool ring to it, don't you think?
That's quite an impressive jump she made.
Plus, there's the business with Iris's papa.
Iris Chan's?
Yeah, I promised her. I promised I'd use the power I gained through my position to search the world high and low for him.
That's a pretty dramatic promise.
Jeannie.
So I tried taking the Scotland Yard entrance exam, but... well, what was I supposed to do? I can't read. Right.
So then, see, Holmesy tried asking Greggyson. And Greggyson said he'd take full responsibility for raising Jeannie.
I'm surprised Detective Gregson was willing to take on such a dangerous task.
Well, Holmesy has a bit of a hobby of finding people's weak points, see?
That great detective.
So, you can go ahead and ask me, Inspector Lestrade, all about this case.
Her poses are adorable! Inspector Lestrade, huh? Actually, there's still one huge mystery surrounding Gina-san.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
6 months ago, Gina-san was prosecuted by the Grim Reaper. And she was found out guilty. Yet now, as you can clearly see.
Oh, are you talking about that rumor?
Honestly, you're such a worrywart, Naruhodo. She's so happy! Oh my god! I guess Gina-san doesn't think it's strange at all.
Well, like I said at the time, I didn't do anything wrong. Even the Grim Reaper could see that.
Can't help feeling that she wasn't completely blameless.
But there's no doubt that Soseki-kun is safe back in Japan.
Well, that's true. I guess the Grim Reaper was watching, huh?
Yep, that's why I'm still alive and kicking.
Yesterday's accident. So, yeah, there's not much else you can say about that except that it was intense.
As soon as the doctor pulled the lever on the device, smoke came pouring out like whoosh. And the next thing we knew, there was a huge explosion. It was pretty impressive to see, that's for sure. Jeannie, did you see the accident yesterday?
Yeah, after all, the boss is in charge of security here at the World's Fair, right? The boss? I guess she means Detective Gregson?
So, if you're security, you can see anything. Oh, and I got to look down on that failure of an experiment from a hot air balloon. What? You're so lucky, Jeannie! Maybe I should work security too.
Hey, why not? All you have to do is threaten the boss a little and he'd make you part of the team right away.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
What? No, don't do that, Iris-chan.
Anyway, I'm really surprised. It sounds like it was a big explosion, yet Dogpaw couldn't stop talking about how his experiment had been a success.
You put Dobie here, so I'm not sure. I guess the short nickname would probably be Dirty, but I'm gonna just put a note here for her. I don't know if Hikari's still watching. New nickname. Because right now it says Dobie couldn't stop talking, so it's still following the old name.
Yeah.
Benny! That's a fun one! I'll put that here too for her.
Yeah, but well, maybe it could be considered a success in a way.
Huh? What does that mean? I don't know, like, I don't know if there's any reason not to, but hey. The experiment's success? Is this the right one? How could it be considered a success when it caused a huge explosion like that?
Weren't you listening? I said it could be considered a success, in a way. Yeah, the experimental device started pouring smoke and ended up exploding, but the location where the victim's body was discovered was the Crystal Tower.
What? At the Crystal Tower?
You can see it right in front of you, right? There, on the first floor of the tower. The glass! It's all shattered! The cage the victim was inside at the time really did end up being instantly teleported above the tower and plunging down into it. See? So in a way, it was a success, right?
What? I can't believe it.
Well, I don't really know how it works, but it seems like it would be possible with science. Oh, here, you can have this. It's a diagram of the error made by the police.
Are you sure it's alright? Sure, I'm sure. I got 3 shillings from you after all. I didn't give you those, you know. Crime scene diagram shows the layout of Dr. Dirtpour's experimental device which exploded in the Crystal Tower. The investigation. Come to think of it, Detective Gregson said earlier. But anyway, it's going to be a bit difficult for me to help you with your investigation.
Then he practically ran away.
Ah, that. So I guess we're not allowed to investigate the experimental device that exploded yesterday.
What? Why? We're the defense attorneys in this trial, right?
Well, can we at least have you tell us about your investigation? Normally, yeah, but we're not allowed to investigate the device either.
Huh?
What was it called again? The Scientific Investigation Unit or something? Anyway, that lot are the only ones allowed to touch it. Sounds pretty dodgy, don't you think? Detectives not being allowed to investigate. This is definitely the first time I've heard of anything like that. So I thought I'd just sneak a peek, but the boss caught me. He started his one-way rant at me.
Don't you think that's super mean?
To be honest, I don't think that rant could have been considered one way.
I think he'd be a little more flexible
Considering how much he loves fried food.
Go on, Naruhodo. Tell him off for me.
So I guess the experimental device must be set up on top of that stage.
Alright, let's go check it out, Naruhodo-kun.
In a second.
Someone dropped something in the shade of this tree.
If you ask me, it looks more like they were trying to hide it. Wonder what it is. Part of the experimental device, maybe?
Maybe it flew off in the explosion and landed here.
Did you find something? No, it's nothing. I should probably make a note of it, just to be safe. A strange instrument. An instrument like I've never seen before, lying as if hidden in the shade of a tree on the grounds below a specially constructed stage.
Hey, what do you think this is? It looks like a scrap of cloth.
I've never seen cloth like this before. It's kind of thick and stiff. Seems like it would be pretty durable.
It looks like it's made of canvas, and it's lined with rubber on the back.
It looks a little burnt around the edges. Maybe it has something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it quick while Jeannie's busy yawning.
Green scrap of cloth. A thick, charred scrap of cloth lined with rubber found on the grounds under the specially constructed stage. The ground looks like it was roughed up around here. Almost like something burned here.
If you look closely, you can see that there are ashes left scattered around.
Well, something exploded on stage, after all. I doubt anyone would have paid much mind to something burning away over here at the time.
Huh. Are we English really that non-observant?
Yes. The Crystal Tower. Oh no! Or Sui Shoto. Shoto. Sui Shoto. I'm going to type this out for you guys because butchering Japanese. The Crystal Tower, or the Sui Shoto in Japanese. Apparently, this bit of architecture is a symbol of the London's World Fair. The tower reaches to the heavens and is completely made of glass. A magnificent building like this is unimaginable in Japan.
And there's even more to see inside the Crystal Tower. Not only are there observation platforms, but there's everything from an art museum to a botanical garden to other museums in there. There's a 3-hour-long line just to get in the door.
Well, I guess the most prominent thing to see in there right now is the glass that was broken by the teleportation experiment.
Thanks to that accident, the whole Crystal Tower is closed down.
I guess the only thing you can say about that is that the Crystal Tower took massive damage.
But I guess now people are lining up in droves to get a look at the crime scene from the sky. There's a 3-hour-long line to ride the hot air balloons.
Londoners sure are brave. They just like waiting in line. Oh, we can look up. Oh, I see now. Okay. Like, examining people repairing the hole, and I'm just like, what? Oh, going up.
That's where the bloke who died was teleported to.
They're still calling the experiment a success?
What's the wooden scaffolding under it for?
Oh, the police put that up right away after the accident happened. I guess they had to get the body down somehow. I don't know all the details. You didn't help set up that scaffolding, Gina-san?
Look, I'm on patrol duty, okay? It's way more fun hanging out and seeing the sights.
You'll get fired. You and Detective Gregson both. Anyway, does that mean the victim really was instantly teleported? It looks like these stairs lead up to this specially constructed stage. Oh, this is a different dialogue. I don't have this one. I don't have this one. Unfortunately, I'm very sorry. Trying to get the stairs, but I must have missed it entirely. These stairs? Are these the stairs I need? Lead up to a specially constructed stage. I guess we better have a look at the experimental device up there. Okay, I guess we need to hit that in order to keep going. Cool. That's cool. Look at this thing. Same day, unspecified time, the World's Fair Experiment Exhibition Stage.
Well, this is a
this is Naruhodo. So this is a device that exploded, huh?
It looks like it was pretty much totally blown apart. Stuff like this is a pretty common sight, though.
Really? You seen something like this before?
Yeah, Holmesy's crazy about this kind of thing. It's pretty much his dream science experiment. He does it in our room all the time. Science experiments are all about the explosion. That's what he always says.
No, Holmes! But yeah, sometimes weird smells come drifting up to the attic, too.
I feel like one of his devices exploded once and blew the attic roof completely off. I wish you could have seen it.
As someone who's currently living in that attic, I'm not really sure how to feel about that.
All right, we might as well get started on our investigation.
Detective Gregson is over there. He's glaring at the device like he's thinking about something.
He just looks puzzled, if you ask me.
Ah, Gregson's theme. There's a lot of unique-looking architecture here at the London's World Fair. I think I remember hearing that Japan had stuff on display here, too.
Oh, I'd love to go to your country someday. I read about your feudal lords in one of Holmesy's books once. And I'd pay to see Holmesy take on a ninja.
We don't have either of those types of people anymore.
Really? That's no fun.
But I know a certain prosecutor who wears the same chromage hairstyle as the feudal lords.
Oh!
Chomage. Oh, there was no R.
Oh, Chomage. I want to take a picture with him.
You don't want to take a picture with Prosecutor Ouchie. It's been a year. I hope it started growing back by now. Oh my god! Oh man! Anyway, it looks like this was one heck of an explosion.
to sum it up in a few words, I'd pick total destruction.
So the part in the middle is where they broke down a person and transmitted him, huh? It did, and then it got chopped off again.
The shocking part is that they were able to transmit him without sending him blasting off.
He's right. That's a pretty important distinction. But do you really think such a thing is possible, Iris-chan?
I'm still just a kid. I don't know.
That hardly seems fair.
Let's see. I bet if I pull this up...
Not so fast! Don't touch that!
You came over here so fast you were practically flying, Greggy-san.
Ugh. Go easy on this old man, please, young lady. I'm begging you.
There you are. Let me make it up to you with some of my herb tea.
This is Grayson's weakness. Iris's tea.
Oh, so good. This tea is so bloody good.
It feels like a long time since I've last witnessed this sort of exchange. We're Dr. Dirtpour's lawyers, so why is it that we're not allowed to investigate this device? Ha! Even us proper detectives are allowed to lay a finger on it. Thanks to this bloody newfangled special provision for the protection of science and technology law. Special provision for... The doctor mentioned that earlier. Honestly, looks like this government of ours can churn out some pretty troublesome policies.
But it's fine if we're just looking, right? You don't mind, do you?
Of course, young lady. Just looking, all right?
Naturally. Right, Naruhodo-kun?
Iris-chan is a force to be reckoned with. Uh-huh. Let's try to look at this device again. Jeez, considering how seriously this thing exploded, it's a wonder Dr. Dirtpour wasn't hurt. Since we've got the chance, we might as well take an up-close look. If you so much as touch it, I'll shoot you dead and then pop my own clogs. We won't touch it. Please, don't do anything rash. Can this machine really break down a human body into particles? Don't ask me that with such a doubtful expression on your face. Just one look at this scrap metal and you should be able to come to your own conclusion. What I like to say, but none of us are allowed to touch the damn thing.
Because of the special provision for the protection of science and technology thing, huh?
I'm gonna get so tired of saying this. So right it is. This really gets my blood boiling. Huh? Part of the device is made of wood.
Oh, there's some sort of tool stuck in the wire mesh.
It looks like a screwdriver.
How funny! The handle is shaped like an A.
Let me see. You're right. Hold up there, you! Don't touch that! If you do, I'll shoot you dead and then pop my own clogs! I won't. Actually, I did touch it a little, but he doesn't need to know.
I got to know more about that screwdriver, Greggy-san.
Leave it to our eagle-eyed young lady to find something like this. But I actually can't let you have this. It's not bread, it's fish and chips. He's eating fish and chips.
Ah, but Naruhodo-kun was the one who found it.
I, lowly Gregson, shall examine it for you. He took it with him.
Damn it. I'm gonna make up all kinds of rubbish about him in next month's issue.
Poor Detective Gregson. What the heck is that? It looks like a giant water wheel. Oh, Naruto doesn't know what a Ferris wheel is. Oh, that's so cute.
That's called a Ferris wheel. There are people riding in those little capsules.
What's the point of it?
Well, to enjoy pretty scenery while it goes around slowly.
Wait, what? That thing spins? It doesn't look like it's moving to me.
It's just moving really slowly. It takes it about 30 minutes to make one rotation.
They're gonna have it move. I feel like it would be more fun if it spun around faster.
That sounds like a whole new ride altogether.
Okay. Oh shoot, sorry. I gotta get out in investigation mode first. What are you looking at this thing for? What? Where? What? What am I looking for here? Is it... Okay, we're looking at the weird device. Okay, give me a second. I'm very bad at reading what we're trying to find here. Maybe I'll see what she means if I actually look. Ah. This piece here is like a little lever. Oh! Whoa! What the heck? It's like a cross between a bow and a rifle. Hello? Maybe it was used just like I think it was. Crossbow, an instrument found lying as if hidden in a ship. It's the same description, but now we have actually a collapsible crossbow. Hi. I guess this must be for drawing back the bowstring so an arrow can be fired. Judging by the feel of it, it can get some serious tension to fire the arrow. It might have destructive capabilities that Japanese bows can't even hope to compare to. I had no idea something like this had even been invented. This groove must be where you put the arrow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a machine that fires arrows automatically. Perfect for someone like me who ends up snapping himself in the ear with the bowstring with 2 out of 3 arrows he fires. Oh, Naruhodo and his archery. There it is. There's that dialogue. I wonder if I could beat a Sogi at archery practice if I used one of these. Oh my god. There's that dialogue that I heard about. That Naruhodo actually did archery. Bless. Government policy. An experiment where a person is broken down into particles and sent flying over to the Crystal Tower. I can't even imagine. Well, it's certainly one of the oddest types of experiments, even among the ones being done here at the World's Fair. To be honest, it's a little shocking that they allow such dangerous public experiments to be performed here, at the London World's Fair, I mean. The British government is putting a lot of effort into developing and promoting new scientific technology right now. Because of that, they're placing a greater emphasis on reform and new possibilities, even if the situation could be dodgy or dangerous. If they're able to get their hands on some sort of new technology that no other country has, that could act as a major trump card for England in the new century. Yeah, I'm sure it would. Why so much importance being placed on protecting scientists' rights?
Their rights?
Apparently, until a scientist's theories are implemented by technology and become a finalized business, those theories are the scientist's only assets. That's why the police are forbidden to touch that device. By the special provision for the protection of science and technology. See. In this case, the ones who have the right to examine the crime scene are a new division established by the Yard. The scientific investigation unit is managing the whole thing. Our only duty here is to keep the watch. The scientific investigation unit. There's clearly a trick to this thing, and yet as long as there's a bloody bit of paper that'll refer to this hunk of scrap metal as scientific device, we're not allowed to touch it.
Reggie-san seems really bitter.
The special provision for the protection of science and technology. Blech. So the reason no one can touch this device is because of the, what was it called again? How many times do I have to say it? The special provisions for the protection of science and technology.
Holmesy mentioned that too. His eyes got all sparkly. It's a new policy developed specifically for the World's Fair. Scientists present new technology and theories to the government which undergo investigation. And that guarantees them the right to protect the secrets behind their technology and theories. Secrets. There are so many experiments being exhibited here at the World's Fair every day that it's almost too much. Well, the majority of them are as dishonest as you are, though. That was pretty uncalled for. Personally, I think it's the suspiciousness that's so exciting.
But as the chief of security, I have to be present at every one of those experiments. It's gotten to the point where I'm ready to say bugger off, science.
You think everyone's so full of hope? You think? Everyone's so full of hope, it sounds fun to me.
I reckon you'd change your mind about that if you had to spend all day watching these dishonest experiments with their obvious tricks. But making a fake experiment exhibition seems pretty pointless to me. Actually, there is a point. Huh? The British government made another troublesome policy. If they accept that a theory or piece of technology is plausible, the government will provide research support funds. Support funds? Every swindler in the world is swarming into Hyde Park, aiming for that funding. And Scotland Yard is in charge of watching over all of that amicably. Gotten to the point where I'm ready to say bugger off, science.
Maybe you're right.
Dr. Dirtpour. So I heard that Dr. Dirtpour was doing his research in Germany. Yeah, apparently he came back to Great Britain for the World's Fair. He's probably here mostly for the research support funding. Now that you mention it, according to what I heard earlier, the doctor was classmates in the university with Lord Baroque von Zeeks. What did you say? No one told me that. But if he's the prosecutor in charge of this case, then the defendant. His fate will be sealed by the power of the Grim Reaper. Honestly, I never know what's going on in that head of his. Come to think of it, I saw in the paper this morning that he was attacked.
Yep, but Reapy seems to be doing just fine.
Oh, well, that's a relief. Grim Reaper, huh? Jeez, how long is this going to keep going on? The Grim Reaper mystery. The victim in this case is an investor, Mr. Conrad Kingsley. I heard that he received his judgment by the Grim Reaper. Lord Baroque von Zeeks is an outstanding prosecutor, but in London's court, no matter how outstanding the prosecutor, it's no guarantee that justice will prevail. I've heard talk of juries being bought out and evidence being forged, and that was why the Grim Reaper of Old Bailey came into existence. At first, the Yard, of course, suspected that Lord Van Zeeks was behind the killings. He thought he was taking justice into his own hand and disposing of villains who managed to evade their guilty verdict. Prosecutor Van Zeeks denies that. We thoroughly investigated him and arrived at a conclusion. That conclusion was that Lord Baroque Van Zeeks had nothing to do with those deaths. I can guarantee that, on my honor as a detective. But then, what the heck is going on? These defendants wouldn't be dying if someone weren't responsible for it. I know that, but we're at a loss. They're called mysteries because no one's figured them out. That's the whole reason for this Grim Reaper business. I heard something from Dr. Dirtpour. He said that Lord Van Zieks was a good-natured young man back in his university days. What? And that he graduated university in a certain... This sentence is... And that he graduated Okay, hold on. That he graduated university and a certain case ended up changing him into a completely different person. Do you know anything about that? Right, not. You totally know! Huh? I've got my hands full just keeping watch over this device. Ask someone else. Uh-oh, I think I'm missing dialogue again. Hold on a second. I don't have this one. What page is this? 1 second. I'm sorry, I have to put this down so I actually can tell. What page is this? 60? 60 pages in already, Jesus! Okay. What is this? Yep, this is not even here at all. I'm sorry, I got none of this. Greggy and Iris. Greggy. Sorry guys, I got nothing. Okay, I think I found where. Okay. Okay. So, here's the synopsis. Iris is talking about is wondering if Holmesy knows something about reaping. And now we were saying we don't know where Holmes is because he's in the middle of investigating something. So Iris gives us a ticket. What's this? An admission ticket? Madame Rosax. What's this?
What? You don't know? It's a show tent that's gotten super popular here in London recently. It's not that far from Baker Street. We can go have a look if you want.
No, I don't have time for playing around today.
That's where Holmesy is.
What? At this show tent?
Yep.
So, you knew all along.
Holmesy told me to absolutely not tell you.
Madame Rosax, huh? I don't know whether it's any connection to this, but I kind of wonder what Homeson is up to. definitely gonna have to just stop tonight and take a break here, because, like, I think there's another joint reasoning coming up pretty soon. So, probably a good place to stop as soon as I finish visiting Mr. Von Zeeks. This is extra. Oh shit, nope. Not where I wanted to go. This is just extra. Prosecutor Van Zeeks?
He totally ignored you.
Prosecutors and defense attorneys shouldn't interact outside of court. Considering that, the one who's actually behaving rudely here is this man in black.
Ah, I see. So that's why. Thank you. Really was willing to talk to me.
Oh, Lord Van Zeeks, have you been to the London World's Fair yet?
Looks like he's determined to totally ignore you.
So he won't even talk to me about unrelated stuff. Ouch. Okay, I'm just gonna not hello to Madame Rosax for now. I'm gonna stop there because there's quite a bit left. I was expecting to be continuous at this point, but man, I don't think I can keep going because this is a long scene.
Oh, defense attorney. You mean for that? Are you going to defend my theories?
Oh my goodness, what is this, man? Your theories?
Yesterday's experiments! I'm not even pressing anything, he's just shouting and interrupting me! That experiment was precisely that experiment alone. No matter what anyone says, it was a success! Yes, it was a success! Yet, none of the defense attorneys I spoke with would believe me. Once they heard what I had to say, they all ran for it.
Hello, Benjamin. I guess I should probably keep it to myself that I was so overwhelmed that I didn't catch most of what he just said. Okay, this guy is gonna be a handful. Understood. Yesterday's experiment. About the experiments you just mentioned.
They're calling it a huge flop. I mean, there was that big explosion and someone died.
So there was a huge accident on the World's Fair grounds yesterday, right?
That's right. No, wait. The nuance of what you said was a bit off. It was a big, huge explosion, to be more precise.
Potato.
It was hyper-electric instantaneous teleportation technology, right? That sounds incredible. The human body is composed of molecules, which are linked electrically. If that's the case, then it should be possible to break it down with enough electrical power and transmit it somewhere else. That's my entire theory.
I guess all I can say is that it's technology that defies imagination.
It's a truly remarkable piece of technology. Just try to imagine. For example, I could be out of a cell and back on the World's Fair grounds in an instant.
That would be pretty amazing.
Then I could close my eyes once more and in the next instant be on a huge stage in Paris. Yes, you can experience this Earth's boundless vastness to your heart's content. Holmesy told me once that whether something is an accident or a murder changes the situation entirely.
What do you mean?
If that really was an accident, then that device is protected by the system.
Protected?
Yes, apparently this country has a new system known as the Special Provision for the Protection of Science and Technology.
Oh my goodness, that's a mouthful too. There's a lot of big words in this one. Never heard of it.
But if we're actually a murder, then my device could be thoroughly investigated as a murder weapon. And if an investigation of its makeup were to happen, my theory, would of course be stolen. I have to have it protected at all cost. So I like it made known at tomorrow's trial that it was an accident.
So, that's what you meant. Hyper-electric instantaneous teleportation desk.
Oh, well, I guess that's also one way of looking at it. No, actually, to be precise. The experiment failed and succeeded at the same time.
What do you mean?
Mr. Kingsley was instantly broken down into particles before my very eyes. I'm sure of it. Up until that point, everything was going according to plan. And then Mr. Kingsley was supposed to be teleported to the Crystal Tower. But the device caused a huge explosion and Mr. Kingsley was killed. So, yeah, I can't deny that that part was a failure.
Which means that the explosion was an accident, right?
But the people in charge were all saying you're suspected of murder. The fact that Mr. Kingsley lost his life is an immovable fact. That's why I want to atone for that crime, right here, right now. But murder? That's just inconceivable. It was an accident.
I see. I really needed that because that was extremely stressful, and I will be sure when we actually do the LP portion I will not be freaking out as much as I did because oh my god, that was the first time I experienced that scene, so I was not sure what to I wasn't sure what I was gonna be dealing with. Anyway, it's the same day, unspecified time, the detention center, holding cell 11. Holding cell 11. Oh, looks like this is it.
Ah, I wonder if it's that man all curled up in the corner. If it's that man.
His name is Dr. Benjamin Dirtpour, right?
Excuse me, Dr. Dirtpour. Who might you be?
I'm a defense attorney. Not a holdo.
A defense attorney?
What? What's his deal?
You're